Oh, good morning. I didn't know Mr. Miles had a new visitor. Are you family? Well, that's excellent, Julian. How are you feeling today? Well, the doctor said you can be moved from the casualty department to a proper hospital room, so that must count for something. Would you like some breakfast too? Okay, just let me know if you need anything. All you have to do is press the red call button. I'll be back in a bit to collect the tray. Yes, you're Julian's visitor. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name? Sure, come with me. I'm all ears. Well, I don't have his chart in front of me, but if I'm remembering correctly, Julian has experienced a near total loss of kidney function. What that basically means is that one of his kidneys is non-functioning and hasn't functioned correctly since birth. But until now that wasn't a problem, because most people can survive quite well with just one healthy kidney. The problem, however, is that his one good kidney is now functioning below 15% efficiency. It can't filter all the waste from Julian's blood on its own. When someone abuses heroin, it leads to high levels of protein in the urine. Sometimes there are toxic, viral, or bacterial contaminants in the drug that can ultimately lead to kidney failure, and his were already weak. In Julian's case, there's also a strong possibility of rhabdomyolysis. Essentially, when he was in comatose after the non-fatal overdose, some of his muscle tissue broke down and released a damaging protein into his blood. The chemicals that are released during the breakdown are massively destructive to the kidneys. He's doing great overcoming the withdrawal. He's taken well to clonidine. He'll continue to have symptoms from the withdrawal for some time, but that alone is not life-threatening. Heroin has done lots of damage that his body will have to work hard to rectify. Julian has a long road ahead of him. He'll need physical therapy. I'm not sure if you're aware, but each shot of the drug shortens a user's life by about 23 hours, and users tend to shoot up 3 times a day or more. Mr. Miles is lucky in one sense that this happened when it did. A lot of people don't make it out of the addiction alive. It's one of the quietest, yet harshest and deadliest substances in the world. What we're mostly concerned about now is that Julian will need to be on dialysis indefinitely, and in time, he may need a kidney transplant. We've already put him on the organ waiting list because it can take loads of time, up to 3 years. And by the time one is available, he may need it more imperatively. It's not quite that simple, Brooke. You would have to be a match. There are lots of tests involved, and even then his body could still reject the organ. He's not in a dire enough state right now. His one kidney is functioning terribly, yes, but still filtering some of the toxins from his body. The dialysis is working very well for him, and he can survive a long time being on that procedure several times a week. But I might be able to arrange the testing to be done for you. Is Mr. Miles aware of your wishes? This is confidential. Brooke, forgive me, but I noticed your accent and I saw that you only brought a purse with you into the room. Are you in need of any toiletries? Possibly a change of clothes? Wait here for just a moment. The toiletries are just basic hospital amenities. The clothes are mine, clean from my locker. I figured we're about the same size. Keep them. They're just plain old emergency changes of clothes anyway. You know, in case of a spaghetti sauce stain. Brooke, may I speak to you for a moment? Please let me know if I'm overstepping my boundaries here. I know Julian said that you're family, but are you related? By blood? I've never seen this happen before in my 15 years in the healthcare field. Your blood type is O negative, which is rare enough, making you a perfect blood match. But your tissue typing... Brooke, look at this. HLA is tissue typing. It stands for human leukocyte antigen. An antigen is simply a protein in the blood whose function it is to help the body differentiate between self and non-self, basically. It protects your body by letting it know to leave something alone or to attack something that doesn't belong, like a virus or bacteria. There are well over 100 different antigens in the body, but only 6 are important for organ transplantation: A, B, and DR types. The more similar the antigens between a donor and the person receiving the transplant, the less likely it is for the person receiving the organ to have his body reject the tissue, since the new organ's makeup would be recognisable to his body. Brooke, we've done transplants where there are only 1 or 2 matching antigens, and it turned out ideally. We've done transplants where there are no matching antigens, and with immunosuppressants, it turned out just fine. Are you sure you're not related? You and Julian have 6 perfectly matching antigens. The chances of a perfect match between 2 unrelated people are 1 in a million, at best. Most of the time, identical twins don't even have 6 matching antigens. I've never seen this happen before in my life. When and if Julian needs it, you would be the ideal candidate for a donor, yes. OK, Mr. Miles, I know I've told you twice before, but I'm going to tell you once more. Take care of yourself. Limit your sodium, absolutely no alcohol, no boxing for the time being, and safely limit your physical activity. Your kidneys are especially prone to injury now. Your prescriptions will be slowly weaned off. We've got his blood pressure back up to normal levels. He's conscious and talking. He's getting CT scanned right now. Will you come with me for a moment, though? Now, I'm not sure what we're going to find on the CT scan, but from what I can tell, Julian's functioning kidney has been substantially injured. I want to get you in right now for a renal anteriogram, the last test we need to perform to match you as a donor. If it comes to that. With your permission, I'm going to get the anaesthesiologist. Have you had anything to eat in the past 6 hours? Let's get you prepped and into a gown then. It's a simple, quick procedure. We just need to count the number of arteries and veins on both of your kidneys. This is why I do what I do. What you're willing to do for Mr. Miles is an incredible act of heroic selflessness. Please know that. I only wish more people would be willing to do the same. Do you want to know why I got into this field of work? 20 years ago, my husband was diagnosed with irreversible heart failure. Both ventricles stopped working properly, and he was put on the waiting list for an organ donation. I was so hopeful that everything would work out great. I was always the optimistic one, but as 6 months turned to 12 and 1 year turned to 2, even I was starting to lose hope. He died waiting for that transplant. And I promised myself that day that I would do everything in my power to help people overcome this terrifying, catastrophic time in their lives, even just one person. Let's go get your Julian better. It'll make me feel better, please. Julian's examinations are all complete. He has grade 5 blunt renal trauma, a shattered kidney and avulsed renal vessels. Essentially, the vessels were forcibly detached from his organ. Julian is experiencing some flank pain, blurred vision, vomiting and abdominal swelling with bruising. But what we're most concerned about is that he's still intermittently bleeding. At this point, it's crucial to perform a nephrectomy, complete organ removal. He can actually still get by on dialysis with the entire organ removed. We've raised his level of need from yellow to red on the organ waiting list though, so that makes him a prime candidate for immediate transplantation. We'll remove his kidney tomorrow. His room is right ahead. Do you want to walk the rest of the way? Mr. Miles. I thought I told you the last time you were here. No boxing. In all seriousness, I've some brilliant news to share with you. We've found a match for your organ transplantation. I'm just as happily surprised as you are. Sometimes things work out when you least expect them to. Because of the necessary nephrectomy that we've informed you about, we're going to move forward and perform the transplant surgery tomorrow. Yes. For now, please get some rest. How are we doing today, Julian? Get much sleep last night? That's okay. The anaesthesiologist will make sure you're very sleepy soon. Blood pressure is looking good today. Brooke, could I possibly speak to you for a moment? You have to come with me now. We need to get you prepped for surgery before we bring Julian in.